Hello, everybody. Welcome, friends, pirates, buccaneers, scallywags. This is the grand finale of the Be a Pirate Challenge. My name is Adam Montandon, and I am your old, salty sea dog, and we're going to set sail on an adventure together. Now, over 800 young buccaneers from 30 different countries have embarked on a journey to develop ideas for a better tomorrow. Participants from the ages between 15 to 19 from countries like the UK, Germany, Austria, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, America, and India, and far-off locations like Ghana and the Philippines are here to celebrate their pirating skills. They've been working so hard on wonderful projects that maybe will change the world that we live in tomorrow. And we're here to celebrate them. Now, if you're joining us on the live stream, hopefully you can see that right here, we've got wonderful team members that have been working really hard on big ideas for the past 4 weeks. And also all of the jury members are joining us live online. And today, in the next little bit, we're going to take you through some of the fantastic projects, and the jury are going to ask some questions and get to the bottom of who will be crowned the king or queen of the Moonshot Pirates Be a Pirate Challenge. Now, in this process, we've had over 150 teams that have been formed, and 60 of them have made it through to the online voting round. But what we're going to see today is the top 5 teams that got selected for their pitching, plus one very special mentors pick and one partners pick. But before we get to all of those, let's meet the wonderful young people who've created some brilliant projects. So let's go and say hello to them now. So first, from Austria and Britain, I'd like to say hello to Project Moss by Innovation Skyline. Give us a wave. Richard and Netta and Timo and Dominika and Alan. Hi, nice to see you. From Germany and Switzerland and Austria, we have Project ASWAP. Hi, Project ASWAP. We have Shizay from Germany and Henry from Switzerland and Armin from Australia. Greetings to you too. From Britain and Belgium, we have Project VizTech AI. So hello to Ellie and Jasper. Nice to see you here. And from Britain, the USA, Nigeria, and Germany, we've got Project Paradise. Hello, Hannah and Lucas, and Marzuk and Ali. Great to have you with us. From Britain and Germany, there's the team World United with their project Education. So hello to Reese and Ben and Amelia and Ariana and Yannick. Great to see you. And from Bangladesh, Sweden, and Britain, we have the Great Pirate Drone by the almost impossible to say problematic problem solvers. Tough to get your teeth around that one. So hello to Paul and Brandon and Sachin and Molly and Isabella and Tassin. And finally, from Britain, we have the project RevGo by TerraShift, and that's from Laura and Sophie, Diora and Charlotte. It's great that you could all join us and be here. We're going to be hearing a lot about your projects in just a moment. But before we kick it all off, I want to introduce a very special friend. He's the Moonshots Pirates co-founder and chief changemaker. And sometimes he's the captain of the ship, and sometimes he's the one who's swabbling the decks. Please welcome Marco. Marco, it's great to have you here. Can you tell us a little bit about this entire thing and tell everybody that's watching at home how the past few weeks have been going with the Moonshot Pirates?
Hi, Adam. Thank you for the introduction, and welcome, everyone. Welcome to this final pitching of the Be a Pirates Challenge. For me personally, it's super exciting to be here with you. And also, you know, this final pitching was supposed to take place on a huge stage at a huge festival. We all know the reason why this can't happen, or why we basically had to switch online. So we knew, okay, we postponed the festival, so we said, okay, we're gonna wing it, and we're gonna do it via Zoom and do a live stream. So welcome everyone, and I'm really happy that you're all here. The last couple of weeks have been an amazing time for us as a team. I have to say it was, of course, also challenging. You know, you have 800 students from multiple countries, but I can assure you, we as a team of the Moonshot Pirates, we had a lot of fun, and it was an incredible time for us. At this point, I would like to say thank you, and I'm incredibly grateful for all the participants joining. So I really, really hope you discovered many interesting things, you gained insights, you learned a lot, and I hope that those things that you have learned and discovered will bring you further in the future, and that you will continue working on your ideas. I've seen them during the coachings and online. They're absolutely incredible, and yeah, I'm deeply grateful for being able to do that with you, and I'm so happy that you joined us for this Be a Pirate Challenge. You all are real pirates, and we as a team, we as Moonshot Pirates, we are incredibly proud of you and proud of your achievements. So yeah, big shout out to all the pirates there. Also, I would like to use this opportunity and say thanks to a couple of people behind this whole journey. First, I would like to start with our mentors and experts. There were around 40 people from different countries, from different parts of this world, who offered their time to our pirates, and they helped them on their journey. So all the pirates, all the teams were able to book a 30-minute slots with the mentors and simply discuss their ideas, got their ideas challenged. And so big thank you to all the mentors and experts out there. Also, all the speakers and the amazing judges today. Thanks for being with us. You know, you are superstars in your fields, and no one of you hesitated a second when we asked you to join us, to share your insights, to be with us. So thank you to everyone. And of course, the Be a Pirate Challenge wouldn't be possible without our partners. And first and foremost, of course, Megacard by UniCredit Bank Austria. Megacard, or the Bank Austria, decided to jump on this pirate ship with us to fly to the moon. And I still remember the first conversations that we had and the excitement that I saw in their faces when we started talking about this project and this opportunity of helping young people with their ideas and helping them on their own path. So dear Bank Austria, thank you for your amazing support. It has been an incredible sail with you guys. So big thank you. But of course, there were more partners behind it. Talent Garden, our host of today's show, basically, and also our home of Moonshot Pirates, together with Petra, who is one of the judges today. Then there's the Austrian Chamber of Commerce. We have the Ministry of Education in Austria, the Silicon Valley Inspiration Tours, who are actually hosting the Winners Prize. Infinity Media, Bureau F, who made everything looking pretty that you saw within this challenge. The guys from 12, who made everything working technically. And then, of course, our media partners, Metropol and Kleine Zeitung. One more thing that I want to mention, or that I have to mention, you know, this project, this challenge wouldn't have been possible without an incredibly dedicated and passionate team. And I'm talking here, you know, it's from the developers to the community managers to the communication and marketing team. Everybody brought their A game, and I'm so proud to be part of this team. Your dedication, your commitment, those sleepless nights, tears, laughter, those countless hours of craziness and work that we've put into this. I don't have words for it, so I feel privileged to be able to work with you, and I can't thank you enough for what we are doing here. So thank you, everyone.
Marco, they're great words, but I was curious, what has been your highlights of the past few weeks? Because you've been working with these wonderful people for the past few weeks. What's been the standouts and highlights for you on your pirate ship?
A great question. Actually, there were a couple of things that I remember. One thing was simply, one of the projects actually went viral in their hometown. So their idea, and the team actually got invited to a local radio station to talk about the project. They talked about the Moonshot Pirates. So that was definitely one of the wow moments for me. That's something that I didn't expect. Also, when I saw the passion and the dedication of the teams and the pirates, There was a team in Switzerland, for example. I talked to them briefly a few days ago, and they told me that they expected to work on it for 1-2 hours a day. In the end, they worked 8 to 10 hours every day in order to make things happen. You know, you would never expect that from somebody in the age, I don't know, 15 to 19. That was something truly, truly amazing. Then also there was one cool thing. It was an unofficial poll that some of the students put out there. They were asking their fellow pirates, would you like to continue working on your idea regardless of, you know, winning or losing at the finals, or actually even getting into the finals? And 95% of the students, 95% of the pirates said, yes, I want to continue working on it. And actually, we've already heard the news that some of them are already talking to investors. So, you know, thinking about that, they started with those ideas 4 or 5 weeks ago. That makes me incredibly proud, and I'm super happy. You know, there were a lot of like unintended consequences in this whole on this whole journey, and yeah, I couldn't be more happy and proud of what happened.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marco, for that great introduction. Now, before we get to the pitching, there is somebody that we've got, an extra special guest that we've invited today. And I love to introduce you to Jody. Jody is one of those rare individuals that you can genuinely describe as a genius. I had the pleasure of meeting her last year in Austria, but today she's joining us from California. And it's so hard because I have to introduce Jody, and I'll be honest, her resume runs a mile long. It's probably easier to say the things that she hasn't done rather than the things that she has. She's created just about everything from holograms to physical products to R&D for hundreds of the world's biggest companies. She's one of the judges today, and she's joining us right now to share some of her insights on the topics around creativity. So Jody, I would love to hand over the stage to you and thank you for joining us on our voyage at the Be a Pirate Challenge.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you so much, Adam. I'm always looking for excuses for us to chat. My video quality is not the best for some reason, but we're going to make this work. So hi, everybody. It's so exciting to be here. And I'm so thrilled for the adventure you're all on. And when I was talking to our friends over at Moonshot Pirates about what would be best to talk about today, we realized that maybe it'd be interesting to tell you how I got from where you're sitting today in these amazing groups where you're imagining the future to where I am today, which is building these things for the future. So I am the principal design researcher for the Office of the CTO of Microsoft, which means that I am responsible for being the voice of the human for billions of people around the planet to the CTO of Microsoft. The CTO stands for Chief Technology Officer. And I'm also the CEO of a company called Superhuman X, where we build superhumans, not supercomputers. And our goal is to make it so that the entire world can have superhuman capabilities, not just the hands of the top 1% of the world. So that's where I get to play today. But I thought it would be really important to explain to you how I got here, because I think a lot of people think that the way to success is to follow some sort of formula, that there's some sort of, if only you knew the proper steps to take, that you would become hugely successful. But instead, I want to suggest that building futures and going for what you want and making huge impact starts with curiosity and creativity. So let's take a look at how I got to where I am. I'm going to share with you. It's going to take us. There might be a little flub, so don't judge too hard. See, you can be a big tech person and still not be perfect at AV. Oh, there. Yeah. See, look. Now you can see my research here. All right. And there we go. Aha. Can you see that?
It looks great, Jody.
Okay, thanks, Adam. All right, so I'm Jody Menich. But what's most important for you to know about me and my career is that I'm first and foremost an artist. I started out my career at around age 5 when I took my first drawing class at a community center in South Bend, Indiana. And that led to a whole career of being an artist. I ended up going to art school and to grad school for an arts degree, not a science or technology degree. And the way that I came through technology was through my art. So I was in my undergrad program for fine arts painting when my professor told me that he was given an opportunity to build the first websites for the big three US automakers. And this was back in 1994 when the internet was first being released to the public. So he had an entire company of graphic designers, and when he proposed that they create this website for the big three automakers, none of them wanted to do it. It was such a weird technology. Everybody thought it was just a fad. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It was just this weird piece of technology that nobody took seriously. So his entire studio of 100 graphic designers said there's no way that they were going to get involved in the web because it would ruin their careers and it's ugly. So why would they bother? So he asked me. He knew I was curious and I like to experiment and tinker with things. So he asked me if I'd be willing to do it. And I did. And that started me off on a 10-year career in doing all sorts of web things that took us from this really kind of crappy interface that if you look up early days of Netscape, say, you'll see what I'm talking about there. But over the next 10 years, we moved from something that was a fad to something that became the tool that changed the world. So by 2000, when the dot-com was booming and we had this second wave of dot-com, Web 2.0, and all the apps started to come out, I had been in the industry for a good 10 years and I was getting really bored. So what I decided to do is to go back to art school. So now I decided to get my MFA, Masters of Fine Arts, in painting, but accidentally ended up creating robots. So as a child, I was that annoying kid that would take apart all the appliances in my house and not always put it together properly. So I was really comfortable with tearing apart machinery and playing with it and putting it back together. And in 2004, when I started my graduate program, something called the Arduino was invented. You might know it as the Raspberry Pi or any other. And it's this little tiny board right here, programmable computer, that you were able to code with pretty simple logic and create really complex electronic circuits that could do all sorts of things. And that got me thinking. And so I created these sort of robotic drawing machines that you see here on the right, that made drawings and destroyed paintings based on where humans were in the room, what they were looking at, what the volume of the space was, what the sounds were, etc., etc. So I started sensing human beings to create mechanical art processes through this little robotic board. Now, that was all well and good, and I got myself my master's degree and was really excited, but more importantly, that led me to working on huge robots. So when I left school, I started a company with two of my friends called Kicker Studio that we focus specifically on creating something called sensory interface. Now, today we're familiar with these types of tools. We have sensors, we have Alexa, we have all kinds, Siri, we have all kinds of tools that can figure out what the human's doing and respond. But at this point in time, nobody had those types of tools. So my friends and I created this company called Kicker Studio, and we worked on sensory interface. So we created I don't know if any of you are Xbox fans, but we created the gestural libraries for the Xbox, oh, what's it called? Why am I forgetting? Kinect, the Xbox Kinect, and other types of really cool interfaces like that. And a friend of ours was working with DARPA, which is the US military's research and development company or group. And this group is what brought us the internet. It also brought us helmets, bike helmets and things like that. They brought us all kinds of inventions that really affect our everyday life. So the idea of being able to collaborate with DARPA was pretty exciting to us. They were working on this robot that you see here. It's called the LS3, better known as DARPA's Big Dog, in conjunction with Boston Dynamics. Now, Boston Dynamics are those people that make those robots that do backflips and things like that. Yeah, this was their first version of that robot. So what we did was that we worked with them to develop a way for people to control this robot without ever having to know anything about code or pick up any sort of controller or anything like that. Instead, the robot understood what the troops were doing, and it pretended as if it was just one of the troops. We treated it really like a dog. Like you would train a German Shepherd, we trained these robots to respond to hand signals, voice commands, and the movement of the people around it. So that was really exciting and led to all kinds of crazy robotic experiments that are now in industrial robots and personal robots, as well as medical robots and all sort of things. And it all started with a funny little art degree. Now, along with that art degree, I found a group of people that enabled me to make ginormous metal sculptures, such as the one that you see here on the Embarcadero in San Francisco, called the Raygun Gothic rocket ship. Now, the Raygun Gothic rocket ship is 4 stories high, and inside are all kinds of crazy things, such as an alien specimen lab, which is all these little robotic aliens that we created. There's a working switchboard to power up different parts. We even built a rocket launcher so that people could launch rockets from it. And then we sponsored rocket clubs so people could make crazy homemade rockets out of things like frozen turkeys and, sophisticated robotics parts that we then launched from this thing to all kinds of some sorts of success and a lot of failure, which was even more fun. This project led us to play with scientists. So part of the rocket ship that we created had something called a plasma engine in the base. Plasma is high velocity, high voltage electricity that you can use to power really interesting things. And so we worked with scientists at New Zealand's, I forget which university there, but I believe it was, all right, so university in New Zealand. And we created these plasma engines that we put into the base of the rocket. NASA invited us to install the rocket there for a little while. And so while we were setting this up, a bunch of NASA scientists came over to see what we were doing on the ground with this glowing plasma thing. And it turns out that they were actually working on some plasma engines to put into rocket ships. So we were able to collaborate with them and start to imagine ways that this plasma could be used in powering rocket ships with way less rocket fuel, which would mean we could go much farther distances. So by playing with these artists, we ended up influencing NASA, which is such a crazy way to go about changing the world. Now, part of being an artist means that you question things and you don't take what you see as the only possible reality. You work hard to invent new realities. That's what art is. It's about manifesting things that don't exist today. And in doing so, that means that I'm constantly challenging technology. I don't take what we have today and say, yeah, that's the thing that we should always have. I think of these things as temporary. They're just here right now for a short period of time, and bigger things are on the horizon. That's important when we think about technology, because today's technology is really geared towards the 80 million coders. So out of a world of 7.5 billion people, only 80 million people know how to code. And then if we look at people who have access to technology, we still are, there's only about 1.8 billion people in the world, or 2.8, sorry, billion people in the world that use technology daily. The rest of the world has very low access to technology. That leaves us with about 5 billion people on the planet who never even encountered a computer. And so through my work, my previous work, Intel decided to hire me to travel around the world to slums and favelas in Brazil and other places around the world where people really weren't using technology on a daily basis, to start to try to imagine what the world would be like if we started all over again using the technologies that we have today. What would we create? I mean, imagine if you were on an alien planet, what kinds of tools would they have? Because they didn't have all the stuff that we are used to. They wouldn't just imagine that that's what the future is going to be like. No, they'd be coming from their own, countries and their own way of seeing things, and maybe their own physiology. I mean, aliens might have heads on their feet because the oxygen level is down there. We don't know, right? And so when we watch science fiction, we get to see all these crazy contraptions these aliens might create. So we can do that here on planet Earth as well, without being crazy, without finding people with heads on their feet. We can just work with people that don't have the burden of our existing way of interacting with technology or even envisioning technology. When we look in the way that Africa and India are using mobile phones, it's completely different than we have in the West, right? People are doing things with it that we would never even imagine, because they're coming from an entirely different point of view, an entirely different value system, and this opens up opportunities. So I like to challenge technology. And when I worked with the women in India and these slums, I found that there were so many problems with our technology that we needed to fix everything immediately. And so the ideas that these ladies and I generated ended up in massive patents that led to things like Microsoft's HoloLens, which is an augmented reality tool that I helped to invent. And when I was working on this, most of my colleagues started with 2D computer interfaces, like we are talking to each other on right now, to build it. But I said, why would we do that? Why not start with the real world and try to imagine what that technology could possibly do? And so I built these very analog models to help to invent what the interface should look like inside of augmented and virtual realities. And then finally, which I think really applies to where you are today, I use art to develop crazy ideas, crazy pants ideas that never happened. Remember I mentioned about those sci-fi movies that come up with ridiculous ideas because they can imagine entirely different species that invent these technologies? Well, why not harness that to really do incredible world-changing things? So I work with a group of artists and writers and science fiction movie people and comic book artists to work with scientists and engineers and investigators to imagine entirely new trajectories of the future. And then we make comic books and movies and things like this to help more people imagine that future. Because the first thing that's going to happen, and this is going to happen to amazing, innovative thinkers a lot, is that the first time somebody hears a really brilliant idea that breaks all the rules of what they know, their first instinct is to say, no. And that happened with the light bulb, that happened with the refrigerator. It happens every time Snapchat changes some feature on their tool. It happens all the time. And so the way to get people past that no is to make the idea seem more familiar. That's how commercials work. Commercials work to help you think of this product as doing this thing, and then you just buy it because you just assume it does it. Same thing with sci-fi movies. If it wasn't for Star Trek, we wouldn't have cell phones. It inspired Steve Jobs to then go out and make smartphones. So we make science fiction that then helps everybody to imagine that future. Then we work with scientists and engineers to actually build those science fiction realities into today's environment. So my encouragement to you is to think like an artist. Do things, challenge things, work in different ways, go at it from different directions, and you'll find huge opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jody, for that very inspiring, wonderful presentation there. And we're running a little bit behind time, so I think there's only time for one question, and it's from me, which is, okay, can I please borrow your plasma engine if you have one lying around? Because I can think of a few very dangerous experiments that I'd like to give a try with that.
Oh, yes. Oh, absolutely. We can come up with something fun.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for that inspiration to start off our session today. And as we mentioned, Jody is one of our very talented judges joining us from California, but we have some more judges as well. I'd like to very quickly say hello and greetings to, we have Tia, and Tia is joining us from London. And Tia is the founder of Replenish Earth. She's an award-winning entrepreneur from London, and she's the director of Kansara Hackney Limited. Hi, Tia. Thank you so much for joining us. And so Tia gives guidance to help governments and companies and individuals make fulfilling commitments to the benefit of the world around us. At least that's what it says on my screen, and it sounds really fancy. We're going to hear a little bit more from Tia a little bit later on. And hello to Vienna, to Petra. Petra is the country manager of Talent Garden Austria, and you're really passionate about innovation and building ideas for a better tomorrow. And I know you've been helping the Moonshot Pirates right from the very beginning, because they're in your buildings right now. You have to be careful letting pirates into your buildings. They pillage everything, and nothing good can come from it. So you're a very brave person.
Oh my God, you must be bold and daring these days, right?
Exactly. And finally, joining us also from Vienna is Marion. Hi, Marion. She's the head of strategy for digital products at UniCredit Bank in Austria. And Marion is representing the main partner of the Be a Pirate Challenge, which is Megacard. And we're going to hear a little bit more from Marion a little bit later on. Now, before we get to the pitching, now you've met the jury. We have some criteria that the jury are going to be looking for. So when our pirates present their 3-minute pitches, the jury are going to be looking for 4 key things. The first one is radicality, which is how piratey is the approach? Just how big were they thinking? The second criteria is impact. What kind of impact would this project have in our world? The third criteria is feasibility. How feasible could it be? Could we really execute an idea like this? And the final criteria, my favorite, is does it put a smile on your face? What is the little thing that makes it special? Now, as you know, there are no rules for pirates, but there are rules for pitches. Each team has just 3 minutes to share their idea, and they'll get 3 minutes of questions and answers. They'll be judged on those 4 criteria, and we're going to find out who's going to be the captain and who's going to be left swabbing the decks. So let's get started. Our very first team that is joining us today is Team Innovation Skyline. Hi, Team Innovation Skyline. I hope you're joining us now in the room. And Team Innovation Skyline is from Austria and Britain. And I think you're going to share your screen now. And when you're ready, we're going to start the clock. And you get your wonderful 3 minutes to share your idea with the world. So Team Innovation Skyline, are you ready? I can see something happening now.
Hi,
okay, great. So Team Innovation Skyline, if you're ready, your 3 minutes starts now.
Of course. Hello, we are Team Innovation Skyline, and our product, the MOS, Multi-Purpose Odor Sensor System, gives you the superhuman power of knowing when your food will perish, using our advanced food waste reduction unit. Think about all of the times you have thrown food away. This happens so often that people almost don't recognize food waste as a problem, when actually the average household wastes a third of the food that they buy. And when food goes to landfill, it produces methane. And when we waste food, it wastes all of the clean water and energy used in its production.
We can use our sensor system to detect increased mycotoxin levels. When food is going to perish in 1 to 3 days, MOS alerts the user via our app. This gives us plenty of time to either compile a list of recipes for the user to use with their food, or locate them to the nearest food bank to donate to someone in need. The issue with food isn't that there is too little, rather we distribute it inefficiently. With our solution, we can take less and use more by giving back to nature and our customers. One of our competitors is Olio, a company that trades food between users. However, we believe that MOS is a much better solution because we don't require a network effect to operate, and we integrate advanced technology into a user-friendly experience. The sensor technology is already developed with companies such as Sorix Sensors and Austrian Microsystems, but we want to make it applicable to reducing food waste, a real global problem.
Partnerships with businesses such as restaurants and directly with consumers provide us with 2 financial models: business to business and business to consumer. According to Statista, in Germany, there are about 8 million smart homes. If 1 in 10 of them were to buy a package of 2 of our sensors, we could sell 1.6 million units in Germany alone. So far, we have developed the business model, pinning down key suppliers and partners. The work on the API of our system has already started, and we have also developed a prototype indoor air quality monitoring sensor. This gives us real insight on how to actually create the sensor in the future.
Innovation Skyline has a perfect mix of people knowledgeable with artificial olfaction technologies and people experienced with user interface, business, and marketing. With our skills, we can make MOS technology adapt to the human rather than the other way around. We want to have our prototype fully functional by the end of August and start beta testing 8 weeks until the end of October. MOS is expected to hit markets in March 2021, and then we want to test further applications such as detecting forest fires and diseases like Alzheimer's early.
So the next time you throw some food away, think about MOS and how we can help combat that dreaded food waste and help beat hunger. And remember, no loss with MOS. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team Innovation Skyline, for starting the pitching. It's very brave of you to be the ones to go first. So well done. But it's not down to what I think, it's down to what the jury think. So I'd like to throw it open to Petra and Jody and Tia and Marion. And if you have a question, now's the time to hear it. So please unmute yourself and go for it. Yeah, Tia.
So I'm really excited about what you're doing because, of course, my PhD is on thermal comfort and indoor environments, and we are increasingly indoors in pandemic. So the use of your product's really exciting. Just a quick question, how are you going to scale?
So in the early steps of the business, we're going to have really intimate relationships with our customers to see what they really need as a product. And then when we start selling more, we can go into retail stores like John Lewis and Amazon, but then we can also branch out into loads of different segments where food logistics is key, like restaurants, where keeping fresh food and being on top of it is so important. So we will use this intimate relationship to branch out into different segments and scale ultimately.
Great answer. Does anyone else have the question?
I do. this is really amazing, and I think it's a really, really important problem that we need to solve. I know myself, we end up throwing out a lot of stuff because we didn't realize it was going bad until it was too late. So I have two questions for you. One is, how do you differentiate between what in the pantry or fridge or whatever is causing the decaying odor? And then two, are you focusing more on creating the sensor array, or are you focusing on the system that the sensor plugs into? So the food sharing program or the planning of recipes, where is more of your focus?
Okay, so studies show that different types of food release certain mycotoxins. Some of these mycotoxins include patulin and aspergillus. And as this advanced technology is already developed by companies such as Sorix Sensors, we're focusing on the system itself so that this can, so that we can use it for food waste especially.
Yeah, we really want to be as user-friendly as possible, so we can really make it as simple and easy integratable into the home as we can.
Very smart.
And I believe Marion has a question too.
Yes, thank you. And sorry for the problem I'm causing technical wise. It's a little bit of a challenge for me today. So great idea. I haven't got the point how you distinguish which food is going to go bad. Does the sensor recognize the ingredients that are allocated to a very special kind of food? Did I get it right in that way? Or because if you take my fridge, there are thousands of things in, and if I get the notification something is going bad, which one?
So I think, Alan, you can take this, or Dominic, but I think you did explain that there are different mycotoxins for the different individual food. And with the AI we're using to, we can identify exactly what it is that's going off.
Okay, so you know in tomatoes there is something like this kind of antitoxic, and therefore you can identify.
Yeah, like a specific composition, yeah.
Okay, clear.
Cool. Well,
thank you. Pose one more very quick question, which is very near to what was just said. I mean, as this is a B2C approach, you will be heavily relying on a real need of the user. And my question is, did you research in any kind of way whether you are really solving a problem that the user has?
I think Netta could answer this question a bit better.
Yeah, sure. So there's such a rise in smart homes already, and making, but also using fresh foods to cook meals and things like that. And especially with people being so much busier and buying more foods in the house, for example, big families that have lots of fresh foods they want to use, it's hard to keep track of when you need to use everything. So with our sensor, it's a way to seamlessly organize things for the family and also save them money, because if you're not wasting as much food and actually using it with the recipes we compile, you can be saving yourself quite a lot annually.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Team Innovation Skyline, for your presentation and your questions. Well done. Great start to the show. We're going to move now to the next team, which is Team Equation. And their project is from project is ASWAP, and they're from Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. So welcome, welcome Team Equation. So if you're ready, would you like to share your screens with us and bring up your presentation? Once your presentation starts, we have 3 minutes and then 3 minutes of questions and answers from our wonderful jury. So welcome Shizay and Henry and Armin. And yeah, when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks to everyone for coming. I'd like to start by asking you to imagine you've just arrived in the Bahamas for a dream getaway. Now, you're ready to relax on the beach. You arrive, and it looks like this, covered with waste. This isn't nice, is it? I'm Shiza from Team Equation, and we at Equation ensure that your baby isn't swimming in an ocean like this, but rather in a cleaner one. Armin, Henry, and myself met on the Be a Pirate app a month ago. Our geeky team was united by our fascination with machine learning and a burning desire for a cleaner environment. Then we found out that there are over 160 million tons of plastic waste in the oceans, but more than 70% is found underwater, untouched, causing marine warming, underwater accidents, and the deaths of millions of animals. We immediately knew that we had to do something to help against marine pollution. So, we have now designed and enacted the world's first autonomous underwater waste collection system, ASWAP. Aboard our versatile drones is an AI to locate waste in the depths, which the drone collects. It stores the collected debris in inflatable bags, which can be conveniently picked up at the surface by a cleanup crew. Not only does this accelerate cleanup missions, but it also mitigates the dangers and costs of manned underwater expeditions. Additionally, ASWAP solves one of the biggest issues plaguing waste collection initiatives: what to do with the gathered waste. We ensure that they don't end up in a landfill by using a smart waste classification model, so they can be recycled to sellable products. So far, we have built both machine learning models and have received positive feedback for our project from several organizations, among which are 4Ocean, Parley for the Ocean, the Great Bubble Barrier, and other potential clients. To be able to extend our project out to the world, we would need around $50,000 in our implementation stage to purchase drones on which we could place our software. Once we've deployed and tested our system, which would take around 3 months, we'd be able to retrieve 90 kilograms of waste per day with just a single drone, effectively cleaning an area the size of Malta with a fleet of only 10 drones in just under a month. We'd love if you reached out to us, whether you're interested in finding out more, or if you could support us in the following fields: networking, hardware, or funding. So feel free to save our contact info and go through our website, equation.ml. With your help, we will revolutionize ocean cleanups. So help us in the fight against marine pollution. Thank you for listening, and we'd love to hear your questions.
Thank you, Team Equation. That was a great presentation and a highly ambitious project. And Marion, I can see you have a question there. You were quick off the mark. I could see your reaction. Please.
Yes, thanks a lot. Great idea. The question would be, you are categorizing, I thought 4 different types of waste. Am I right?
Correct.
And if so, when you pack the bag beneath the ocean or in the ocean, then you have to pack four bags at the same time, isn't it? And then let them flow upwards to the surface.
No, so what we actually do is we have the drone collecting waste underwater, which it packs into the bag, and the bag is collected, which is full of every kind of waste by a crew above water.
Okay.
And then once it's brought back to the shore, we've got an intelligent sorting algorithm. That way we can also handle waste that's already been collected but not sorted yet.
Okay, so the sorting out is then done afterwards, after collecting. Okay, clear.
And Petra has a question too.
Yes, I also have a question. Thank you for your wonderful idea and project. I was just wondering, cleanup at land is much easier and also less costly. Why did you decide to do cleanup like underwater? Plus, research says that 92% of all the plastic in the sea is actually smaller than microplastics and would not be collectible with your system. So why did you go for this solution?
So initially, we looked at several ways to collect waste, and we found out that over 70% of waste is underwater. So over 70% of waste in our oceans is underwater, and nobody is doing anything about it. It's untouched, and this is actually causing a large problem. Of course, as you said, a large amount is microplastics, but with the 13.8 trillion pieces of plastic underwater, even 10%, 15%, 5% is a large amount and could impact our lives in a large way.
Furthermore, we actually have looked into solutions for collecting microplastics besides the waste that can be picked up like this. And we've looked into the use of fluorescent light detectors and filters for collecting those kinds of plastics. Thank you for
your question, if I may.
Got something?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, how long will it take you to pilot making one?
Can I? Yeah. Do you mean for us to be able to launch a drone? Sorry.
I mean, okay. I know that you're actually putting a number of different methodologies together, but how long will it take you to get an MVP?
Well, so at the moment we've got the machine learning models done. And so what's holding us back at the moment is a lack of funding to purchase drones. So of course, once we get that, there'd be a certain amount of testing to be done to adapt to that specific drone. But we think that we could get that done within 1 to 2 months of purchasing the hardware.
And I've seen in your research that you've also had conversations with, aquatic biologists to understand the impact that it would have.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, we've been in contact with several people in the field who have helped us both with getting data, so looking at pictures of waste underwater, and also just with looking at what impacts, and even like if we would have a negative impact, which they think we wouldn't, just to make sure that our system is safe.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, team, for your presentation and for your answers. So we're going to say goodbye to you, and we're going to welcome into the room our next team as they're loading in. It's from Britain and Belgium, a team of 2, which is Viztech AI, Ellie and Jasper. I can see they're just coming into the room now. So welcome, Jasper. And is Ellie here too? I'm not sure. I think she's just loading in. But Jasper, welcome. We have just 3 minutes for your presentation, and then 3 minutes of questions and answers from the team. So if you're all set up and ready, if you would like to share your screen and take it away, then the stage is all yours. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Take it away.
Okay.
With Viztech AI, and to be honest, we don't really want to change the world, but instead we want to give everyone the opportunity to see the world. That's why we created our product and company, Viztech AI.
Globally, over 2 billion people have some form of sight impairment, and 39 million people are registered blind. We originally developed the idea in response to the issues faced by my mom, who has tunnel vision. She always tells us how much she hates bumping into things, especially around the house or in the city. With this in mind, we created the Viztech AI to support those like my mom and those with varying degrees of sight loss. We have created a camera that can be easily attached to clothing, a single earpiece using Bluetooth and an app for support. Although our product is relatively simple in its idea, it's life-changing to those who don't have access to help or guide dogs. The current market for assistive tools and technology is expected to grow to 6.6 billion by 2025. Yet, many recent technological advances are either expensive or limited in their production. Viztech AI also has scope for alternative usage, thus widening accessible markets. Viztech AI works by utilizing AI, which runs using a Detectron-2 software base. It can study your surroundings and provide a live feed description to use through text to audio. It describes the objects around you with preferential detection given to potential dangers. Viztech AI can also read text to the user and allows for images to be saved to the cloud for future reference. This will facilitate not only for supporting those with sight impairment in local surroundings, but also in educational settings at the workplace. This is particularly pertinent as only 1 in 4 of those with sight impairments are in work.
Our main competitor is a software app called Seeing AI, an app that you can scan small items around you for a quick description. However, this comes with limitations linked to phone battery and wider usage. Our product is unique to the market in terms of portability and access for everyone. Currently, we are on a trajectory to have our code finish by December 2020 and start serious prototyping by January 2021. Customer feedback trials would be expected in June or July based on the smoothness of our first basic production. Currently, we are focused on developing our code in order to make it as smooth as possible and developing our AI for detection of what is most important to the images collected. Our next step is focusing on manufacturing of certain elements of our camera, including making sure it's eco-friendly and we use eco-friendly materials. And also, we would like to improve upon our competitors and focus creating a battery that is tailored for the high demands of our product. As part of a socially conscious generation, we are constantly looking not only for additional experiences to learn, but also ways to improve the world for others less fortunate than us. Our overarching goal is to we would like to make technology accessible for all of those who need it through the creation of a charity initiative underpinned by a percentage of the profits through our AI sales and offering workshops and support groups. If we want to market our product as a product for all, it must be truly for all.
We designed our product to be a tool to help others flourish and feel more confident in their daily lives.
To help with navigation in the workplace or in their personal life. We still don't want to change the world, but we do want our users to. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Team VizTech AI. And I see Jodie's hand went straight up there. So let's go to Jodie. I think that she's got a lot to ask about this one. Jodie, please.
So I'm curious, I wonder, I have two questions for you. And the first is this. Is sound and voice sound in particular, like a running auditory description, really the best replacement for sight?
Currently, it's the best alternative because we feel it would give them at least some independence, and just because when we did interviews, we discovered that sometimes it's the simple things like not being able to identify certain objects or what's going on around them is the biggest struggle, especially with navigation and text. So it's a tool to help them be more independent and navigate more, and it's the best we can do at current time.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you on that one. And here's why. There's already a lot of really interesting tools being developed around touch, tactile interfaces that allow people with sight impairment to get a context of the room that they're in and understand what those things are. When it comes to sound, I think it would be really interesting for you to check out something called SoundCloud being developed by a woman named Margot, I believe it's Gonzalez, I can get you the specific name, at Microsoft Research. And what she's created is this navigation tool for sight impaired individuals using sound like you are. But instead of it being a running audit narrative of what's happening, it's more like these sound beacons. And then people can investigate what those beacons are if they need more detail. So it's like a combination. It's more about creating an like sighted people might use sight to like scan a room. We don't have a running dialogue in our head like that's a wall, that's a thing, that's a this. It would get too interruptive and it'd be almost impossible to move in that space. So I think prototyping a little bit around like sitting there and talking into somebody's ear as they're navigating a room might be a really good experiment for you. And also looking at some of these other technologies that are currently being developed specifically to solve the problem that you're working on would be really interesting for you. I think you might find some really cool ways to take this to the next level for sure.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Yeah, look into that too.
Yeah, that's a great question and comment there, Jodie. And I think you'll perhaps be joining this team later on because you have so much input for a group like this. But I can see
is one of my favorite topics.
I can see Petra has a question. Perhaps she has time for a final question for this team.
Yeah, well, actually, I went in the same direction. So my question was how you make sure that people get information on demand, not to be overwhelmed. So it went in a similar direction. But what I also wanted to add is that I was incredibly impressed by all the material that you provided us as a jury. This is so professional that I even ask whether you are like really like up to 19-year-old already like working somewhere. So incredible, what you already achieved in such a short time. This is also shows your passion. And I think it is really now about being very user-centered to develop that further. But with all the drive and passion that I can see from raw material, yeah, well, I'm really thrilled.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Team VizTech AI, for your presentation. Well done. We're going to say goodbye to you now, and we're going to move to our next team, which is Team Project Paradise. So joining us is from Britain, the USA, Nigeria, and Germany. Hello to you all, Team Project Paradise. We are at the halfway point now, so hopefully you're going to keep the energy up with your presentation. We have 3 minutes of your presentation, and then we'll go to the jury for some questions and answers. So I can see that you're just getting your screen all set up there, and it looks like it's loading in. So Team Project Paradise, what do you say? Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah, great. Well, take it away.
So everyone is working towards meeting the Sustainable Development Goals in their own separate ways. Some environmentalists preach about a circular economy, but we don't see the circle in their work. Individually, they labor in their own field of work, but they've yet to come together to make a change to this world, which will impact a way of living. That's why we want to start Project Paradise. We believe that now, in our ever-deteriorating world, the only way to move forward is if we come together as a whole to revolutionize the way that we work, the way that we live, and the way that we advance as a global population. So we want to begin a new community, call it a park if you wish, to condense all the independent knowledge from different areas into one place. The idea is that all the different experts can communicate via a hub to work together, not apart. Imagine this, a paradise centered from a lake which doubles as a water storage, where all these different innovations are grouped together so that each facility can use the waste produced by another to carry out their operations, reducing and internalizing waste. For example, waste plastic can be made into different clothes and furniture, which are cheap and eco-friendly. We can also create different ways of fabricating new materials because our innovators can communicate together within our dream park. Also, imagine our paradise as not just advertising mainstream solutions, but as a stage for showcasing each innovation to the public, to show them what a circular economy really is within sustainably sourced buildings. Imagine this paradise was as much green integrated into the framework of the design so we can thrive alongside nature. We take inspiration from Google's new headquarters in California, where they use sustainable geothermal and solar technology. Essentially, our plan is to create not just a single invention, but to lay down the groundwork for a future city where people can live well, free from pollution and poverty. In the first years, we will open this to the public so that people of all ages can discover more about the sustainable technologies we use and sponsor or donate to a project they find interesting. The proceeds will go to funding the development of the projects in the park. We will also draw inspiration from places such as H-Farm in Italy, where innovators live together, but we want to take it further. We want to expand the park into a settlement community because we want to envision the future of Project Paradise as the model for a sustainable city to combat the changing environment. Because we believe that our way of existing right now must be improved and adapted for the challenges of the future. Think of it this way. This is a world where almost everything is possible. So why not try everything together in a melting pot of ideas where different industries can work together in making not just a single path forwards, but a network of connections towards a brighter future? Project Paradise is possible. We must be brave enough to take the opportunity to change our world, make that circular economy, make a global paradise. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Team Project Paradise. Very wonderful, playful, and creative idea. I wonder who from the jury would have a question or a comment to go first. Jody, what are your thoughts?
I love this idea. And it really borrows, if you take a look at how ecosystems work in our world, you'll see that they want, like say the tree drops leaves, which becomes fertilizer to the ground, which then, you know, it's this like circular economy that you're describing. I think this is entirely feasible. And in fact, there's a place in Cloudenburg. Am I massacring that name?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm totally massacring this name. I think it's in, I want to say it is in Denmark, but it might be in Holland. Anyways, so this is Industrial Park. I'll share with you the case study for it, but they're doing exactly what you're talking about. And anybody in the industrial park, one company has to provide the off waste to the next company to use as a raw material, which then they use, then their off gas turns into a raw material for the next company and so on, so that it's a zero waste ecosystem. So I think what you're talking about is entirely possible, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I guess it was less of a question and more of a comment on, yeah, cool stuff.
Well, and for me, I'd be very interested to hear what Marion has to say, because with all of her background in the financial world, looking at a circular economy like this, I'm sure she must be itching with some thoughts. Marion, have you got something that you would like to share?
It's a fantastic idea, because this is exactly what we have to come to. It's efficient. It's down to earth, I would say. What I would be interested in, how would you will open it to the public in order to take part and to take a look at. And how do you motivate the people to donate something to that? So this I didn't get correctly. So if it is up and running, I fully agree, it's fantastic, but how would you approach this to make it happen and to finance it and also to multiply it then further on?
Well, to finance it first, we have to publicize it. And since we're quite a global team and we have connections pretty much like everywhere, we can totally get people to look into this, because we want to make a website as well for this project where people can perhaps explore more. We can list the ways how our projects will help the world and help the people in poverty, people in hunger, and we're going to use a website for these people so they can donate, and the park will be interactive. So for example, there is a really fun park, not environmental based, but it's called the Hida Folk Village in Japan, where people pay to go in to see like all these different exhibitions, and it sort of makes you want to spend money, because it's like a really fun place and the stuff is interactive and you can see everyone like doing their jobs in traditional Japanese woodwork, etc., etc. So our park kind of wants to take on that sort of a fun experience, so people want to donate to it. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
People actually live there.
So your target is to first begin in more developed countries, because I was thinking about the countries in Africa and who will be your customers there to come to and donate. If you want to really position it as also a development approach for the region there. So this I was just struggling a little bit with. But now I understand.
Great. Well, thank you, team, for your presentation. Now, I also could see that Tia was itching to ask a question, and I know that you guys should definitely speak to Petra as well afterwards, because she has a lot of experience creating unusual working and living and creative environments. So there's a wealth of opportunity with this jury, but we do have to move on because of time, and we have to be fair to all the teams. So thank you very much, and we say goodbye to that team, and we welcome the next team. So this is Team World United joining us now. Oh, I can see lots of thumbs up from a happy and excited Team World United. So welcome. Guys, you have just 3 minutes to share your big ideas with the juries, and then we'll get 3 minutes of questions. But if you'd like to set up, maybe you have to share your screen. Oh, I can see that just loading in now. You maybe need a few extra clicks. And it looks like it's all working. So are you ready, Team World United? Yeah?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, take it away. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Education in developing nations needs to change. 1 in 7 people in the world are illiterate. That is more than 1 billion people worldwide. 1 billion people stuck in a life of poverty because they don't get a chance to learn to read or write. Can we really live in a world where this happens? Our team feels extremely grateful for the education we have had, and we passionately believe that every child should have the same opportunities. We live in 2020. The world is transforming. Let's transform education too. We are World United, and our project is Education, which provides online schooling to children globally. Due to the coronavirus pandemic, schooling has turned digital. Given this unique opportunity, we've discovered that online schooling is just as effective as in-person learning, but at a fraction of the cost. Education provides a modern solution to an old problem. But why? What's the point in making education digital? We will provide tablets with access to the internet to allow schools to implement thousands of online courses in their curriculum, ranging from reading and writing to basic coding and maths. Digital learning is also much more cost-effective. To teach a child for a year in Kenya currently costs $650 per annum on average. Although there is an initial outlay for the tablet, our costs are significantly lower than traditional classroom teaching. We've calculated that after 6 years, education will be roughly 50% cheaper than regular teaching. Revolutionizing education will finally allow children to break free from the awful poverty cycle that they are stuck in today, with opportunities to work in the quaternary sector. They will be able to pursue careers as doctors, engineers, pilots, bankers, and scientists. Advancement in education will allow children to dream big and change the world. Who knows, maybe a child we educate will be the one to cure cancer. We have planned a timeline for the implementation of education. Key milestones include sourcing tablets and communities by Q3 of 2021, the implementation of education in Kenya by Q1 of 2022, and then to Nigeria by the following year. World United will then continue spreading education to new areas whilst continuing to both maintain and improve the tablets. We see investment into education as an investment into humanity. World United will get both funding and exposure from the public and organizations such as UNESCO, the Global Partnership for Education, and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. World United is determined to succeed, and with your support, we will transform education today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's a really nice presentation, and I enjoy it particularly because I'm working a lot with education and innovation. So this is right up my street, but it's not for me to say, it's for the jury to decide. And I saw that Petra had her hand up straight away. So Petra, do you have a question?
Yes, so thank you very much for this very important topic. And Talent Garden in its core is into education, like 100%. And this is why I obviously also have questions for you. Actually, one thing is, I mean, cost of a tablet is double cost of a smartphone. Yeah, your idea was to, I mean, give one tablet per class, or maybe one or two. So my question is, what is the learning path? What could you achieve? Is there a teacher needed? And if yes, how would you educate him or her? And if not, how would you make sure that you really like have a learning experience, maybe even an interactive for those pupils? And also, how would you make sure the maintenance of the tablet and the Wi-Fi connection? Because you would like to target areas where this is really, really a topic. So normally, if you go for such an approach, the tablet would disappear in a second. Yeah, you do not even have like cupboards to lock the tablets after school. So I would be really interested in the feasibility of your great idea.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So we're working closely with UNESCO, who source the communities and schools that we will donate tablets to, and they ensure that these communities are verified and that they have a safe place to keep all the tablets, because we're just sourcing them, and it would be their responsibility to look after them, so we can make sure that who we're giving them to can be trusted. And then as for teachers, our iPads come set up, or tablets come set up with instructions on how to teach on the iPad and how it's beneficial, and also like all the wide array of courses that we're offering too. So it's nice and simple, and it's quick and easy to learn for everyone.
And I think Jody had a question as well.
Yeah, I'm going to build on what Petra had to say there. So I want you to check out a program called 360 Ed coming out of Myanmar. It's trying to tackle a similar problem, but here's the thing. We have this technology now that allows for mixed reality learning on a smartphone. So you don't even have to have it like up to your face. You can just kind of move an object around. Now, what this type of learning does is provide hands-on learning as opposed to like reading a book and trying to make the abstract reality. So they're using it to redefine the entire school system, just using an app on smartphones that already exist, and then distributing one phone or two phones to schools that don't have access. And then the teachers are able to get training in Finland from the world's best educators in order to keep their skills current in the country. So I just wanted to point that out so that you can check it out and see what some other folks are going for.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you for the feedback, and thank you very much, Team World United. We're going to move to the next team now, so thank you very much, World United, for your presentation. And we move to the problematic problem solvers from Bangladesh, Sweden, and Britain. So quite the mix here. So welcome, Team Problematic Problem Solvers. And and I can see some wonderful pirate flags in the background as well. So you're really taking the pirate thing to heart on my screen. So if you would like to share your screens with us and get your presentation ready. And when you're ready, just let us know and we'll start the timer. We have 3 minutes for your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're ready to rock?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, the stage is yours.
30% of all man-made CO2 emissions have ended up in the ocean. Our team are from all different areas of the globe, England, Sweden, Bangladesh, and yet we all face the same problem, global warming and ocean acidification. We couldn't stand by when every day the world is being damaged more and more from excess carbon dioxide in the oceans. It severely affects aquatic life by dissolving calcium carbonate shells, affecting fishing settlements and businesses, and can cause humans serious problems through dangerous warming, water, and global warming. Here at Team Problematic Problem Solvers, we know that the world needs saving, and we've developed a way we can do it. Seaweed has the potential to be a massive global resource with many applications. Our simple system of using drones to plant and harvest seaweed will reduce ocean CO2 levels through photosynthesis, which helps to prevent global warming and to protect marine life by reducing ocean acidification and more. We can then sell this seaweed to companies for carbon neutral biofuel production, furthering the fight against the global carbon crisis and providing income. We plan to have a fully functioning prototype ready by the end of 2021 and a proper production line by 2023. The use of drones in physically helping the environment, particularly in our oceans, is unexplored. We hope to set a new precedent where the application of drone tech leads this world into a new era where drones are the face of eco-action and not just a bystander. Our technologies are relatively simple as well. AUVs, which are autonomous underwater vehicles, already exist, particularly in military use. This has often been a good indicator of which technologies will appear in the public domain in the next few years. This means that everything we are going to do has precedent and a level of development behind it. We can use this to help us guarantee a proven route to working products. This amazing technology is also solar powered, a fantastic eco-friendly power source with low running costs. Eco-friendly biofuel made from seaweed is becoming widely used around the world, and we plan to use this to generate income. In addition to this, we really want to excite people. We've developed a series of flagship drones, custom designed drones that can act as community liaisons into our project. Local and international communities can work together to choose one of many designs, acting as a source of income and a connection to the communities we work with. We are very excited about the impacts we can make with our drone. We aren't selfish, we save fish. Thank you, and we'd love to hear your questions.
Thank you very much, team.
That was cute.
That was wonderful. And Tia, I can see you're right in there. What's your question or comment?
Well, you know, I mean, you've done so much research on this, and I'm really grateful for you sharing your notes on what the seaweed is going to be doing too. And I think that it washing up on shore and creating flood proofing is really fascinating. So maybe you can share some notes on that.
Yes, of course. The seaweed in itself it's a very basic thing, isn't it? It's just seaweed. We all know what it is. We've all seen it before. But the applications of it are not very much explored. For example, flood proofing is something that hasn't. There really isn't much research on it. So we plan to do quite a bit of research in the future on how we can use it for flood proofing and things like that. But we can also, in beach places, we can also stop seaweed. We can do it both ways. In the Dominican Republic, we can. They have a problem with sargassum, which is a type of seaweed. We can stop that.
The rising sort of sea levels are, you know, an issue across all of these smaller islands. So I can imagine there being, you know, multiple uses.
Yes, yeah, it really is. And it's going to really affect people in the future, and you can already see what's going to happen to them. With the seaweed, it really helps to stop thermal expansion. It helps to stop that, and it helps to stop other things, such as it helps to dampen the effect of waves. So the waves break on the seaweed, and then they don't flood as far onto land. So they're quite good in that sense as well.
Thank you, Paul. And I see Marion has a question as well, I think.
Yes. Did you have the chance to exchange on that with biologists? So in order to prove if this is also compatible with the ecosystem, the environmental ecosystem in the sea?
Yes, we conversed with a marine biologist over the course of this challenge. And one of the things that we focused on quite a lot was that we are going to go in accordance with the Declaration of Responsible Research. We're going to follow the OSPAR Code of Conduct for Responsible Marine Research in deep seas and high seas of the OSPAR Maritime. And we're also it's also going to cause it's going to cause a very, very negligible effect on any marine life. And we've made sure that's going to happen. And we're going to do lots of testing.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
And I've got to admit, I'm interested to know, perhaps from Marion as well, that if you're going to be planting all of this seaweed and creating this biofuel, could this perhaps be the next oil rush of the oceans? Marion, what would you think to the long-term financial implications of a project like this?
It depends on the volume they can produce. So honestly, I have no clue, but for sure, and I'm not talking as a banker here, that we have to get rid of the typical oil production we do have because of several reasons, and not only because of the shortage of the natural one. And this could be a great idea to do so.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you very much. That's really great problematic problem solvers. So well done. And we say goodbye to you. Thank you for your presentation. And we move to the final team, the last but by no means least, Team TerraShift from Britain. So we say hello to Lara and Sophie and Diora and Charlotte. Hi, thank you for joining us. I can see your screens are loading in, but nice to see all of you. And if you would like to share your screen. Well, are we waiting for one more team member to load in?
I think we are, yes.
Okay. Someone's on a slow internet connection, maybe? We
yeah.
Okay, I can see the screens flashing up in front of me, and it should be just a minute. Okay, wonderful. I can see the team is all in the room now. So if you'd like to share your screen with us, and we can get the presentation underway. Okay, it looks like it's all working. Are you ready, Team TerraShift?
Yes, we are.
Okay, the stage is yours. Take it away.
Hi, we are TerraShift. We have designed a mechanical solution to help farmers plow their soil. 650 million subsistence farmers in Africa alone suffer from malnutrition and poverty. Currently, these farmers barely grow enough food to feed their family. Mechanizing agriculture in the poorest countries can double the crop yields of these farmers. So, what is our solution? We are developing a low-cost, sustainable, and mechanical device to increase the work efficiency of farmers. There are two parts to our solution. First, our Earth Trucker. This is a multi-purpose device. It can be used for sowing, harvesting, and transporting heavy items around the farm. Second, our mechanical no-till drill. The technique of no-tilling improves soil health and helps to combat climate change. We want to empower farmers to build a bridge from subsistence to commercial farming and drastically improve their quality of life. So why are we doing this project? We are an Allgars team passionate about STEM. After hearing about people starving due to food insecurity, we set out to create an affordable solution that would not require complex tech, but still increase work efficiency. We strongly believe that alleviating poverty can be successfully tackled with the simplest of means. Our projected market size is $120 billion, considering the target audience of 2 billion people from Africa, Southern Asia, and Latin America, and an estimated manufacturing cost of $60 per device, which includes cost of treated bamboo, bikes, and labor. Our solution has low operational risks due to its mechanical and straightforward design, meaning it would be realistic to manufacture. To combat the risk of decreased crop yields and unsuccessful adoption of the new techniques, we plan to establish partnerships with NGOs on the ground who would teach communities how to successfully operate our innovation. We aim to locally source our bamboo from smallholder farmers in Ethiopia and use recycled bicycle components in our device. We have already established an initial partnership with Recycle, who have agreed to donate bicycle parts to us. Our device is easy to maintain, allowing farmers to repair any damage by themselves. Completely broken parts can be shipped back to our HQ, where they will be repurposed into new products, thus developing a circular economy. Our next stage is to build 60 prototypes to distribute in Liberia and Ethiopia for pilot testing. Whilst the farmers use our product, we will gather feedback through our partner NGOs to continuously improve our design. We will then secure funding from various agencies to prepare for wider distribution. So, what can you do to help? We require technical advice for the prototyping stage, where we would like to test and pivot our product before scaling. Support our solution and help us to improve the lives of billions of people across the developing world. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much, Team TerraShift. Nice and very passionate presentation, and great to ask for help. And I can see both that Tia and Jody are really interested in some questions there. So let's go to Tia first and then Jody. Tia, what's your question?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the presentation and also all of the work that you've done behind the scenes in trying to understand exactly where and at what points you will need support. So imagine if a farmer is using one of your devices and it breaks, how quickly can you get a maintenance team to organize some level of maintenance there? And of course, how are you going to do it over, let's say, hundreds of thousands of people using your device?
Well, our device is designed to be as mechanically simple as possible. So ideally, we want the farmers to be able to repair any breakages themselves. However, if there is a more major breakage, we do have kind of NGOs on the ground there ready to help them.
Okay. That was a big part of my question as well, is that, and then I think, so it's funny, I worked in Peru building wheelchairs out of lawn chairs and bicycle wheels. And one of the things we discovered is that once we provided the plans to the folks there, they were able to make better ones because they knew specifics about their own context. Have you thought about creating some example ones that people could purchase, but also plans that people could use to make their own versions?
Well, we haven't thought about that, but it's definitely something we'd love to look into because, you know, our big idea is to help the farmers to help themselves.
Yeah, and farmers are incredibly resourceful, so I'm sure that that would make partners out of them would be a really great way to also innovate on what you could build for more people.
Wonderful, thank you. And we have time for maybe one last question or comment. So Petra, perhaps, do you have something that you would like to say or to ask this team?
Yes, one question that came to my mind. So actually, I learned that your headquarters would be somewhere in Europe. Is that correct? Because this is something I just wanted to question, because you then have this shipping around of things, which should be avoided, I think, if possible. Yeah, maybe you can elaborate on that a little bit.
Our headquarters is going to be located in our target countries, like in Africa, so that we would be able to easily provide the service that we need.
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Well, the time is up. Well done, Team TerraShift, and well done to all of the teams that have been pitching and presenting. It's so great to see your ideas. And so we're going to say goodbye to Team TerraShift now. And also, we're going to say goodbye to our jury, because they're going to move to their private online space and they're going to discuss all of your projects and hopefully not take too long about it, because we can't wait to hear what you think. So what we're going to do now is whilst the jury are deciding in the background, I'd like to introduce everybody to Simon. Now, Simon is the co-founder and it says Chief Navigator of the Moonshot Pirates. And Chief Navigator is a wonderful term, not because he's at the helm of the ship trying to steer it in the right direction, but he's going to be telling us what's next for the Moonshot Pirates. So Simon, great to have you. Thank you for arranging this. Can you tell us some more about what the future is for the Moonshot Pirates?
Yeah, of course. I'm mostly looking out for icebergs and then I'm trying to navigate the ship around it. Hey, Adam, I am, first of all, I'm exhausted, but I'm also excited. So I obviously have seen most of the projects before during the process of creation, but I haven't seen them presenting. And it's absolutely incredible what we have seen here. And honestly, I am happy that I'm not part of the jury, because they are having a hard time now to decide who is going to be the best team. So, you see in the background, I'm right now in the headquarters of the Moonshot Pirates. So you can see our team. They are actually doing everything that needs to be done so that you at home can see it. And also, I was reminded that people tune in, and just for them, very shortly, what's actually happening here. So we launched the Be a Pirate Challenge. 850 students from all around the world, they have joined, and in a process, online process, a couple of weeks long, they have, together with expert mentors, found their ideas, created teams, and then brought the ideas to where they are now. 7 of the best teams have already presented, and you have heard that the jury is now somewhere in the virtual back room discussing who is going to be the winning team. And I can imagine that you are all very excited about it. So also a welcome from my side. So I'm Simon, I'm co-founder of the Moonshot Pirates, and I'm also the Chief Navigator, as Adam said it. And together with Adam, we would like to use now those couple of minutes to tell you about the Moonshot Pirates. And for that, I will actually open a presentation. So, very quickly, the Moonshot Pirates are here to help young people to strive, to think big. So this is the moonshot thinking part. But also to know about exponential technologies and then understand the global challenges. And this is the knowledge you can then use to make the world a better place. So our mission is to encourage young people to dream big, to walk their own path by fostering moonshot thinking and solving the global grand challenges. Now you can say Simon very well read what you see on the slides. Why are we doing this? I would like to confront you with a couple of facts. In 10 years, that means by 2030, 2 billion jobs will be gone. So think about it, these are almost all the jobs out there. So people who are in school right now, they will be working on something or performing a task that doesn't exist yet. There's a study by the World Economic Forum, and they say the most important skills are complex problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. Skills for the future. And when you think about it, those are actually the skills that you need and have as an entrepreneur. And this is where we come in. What is also very important to us is understanding the global challenges and solving them. So problems and global challenges, they also provide opportunities. So what is our vision? We would like to create a global movement of young change makers and a digital community. How do we do that? So the Moonshot Pirates are built on 3 pillars. The first one, as I already mentioned, and also the name says it, is the moonshot thinking. So this is think big, set goals that are incredibly high. Your friends have to say, you know what, you're crazy. This is something you can never achieve. But this is exactly the goal you should be striving for. When you aim for the moon and you miss, you will still end up somewhere in between amongst the stars. What is also important to us, and it still belongs to the first pillar, is the culture of failure. It's different in all across the world. For instance, in Austria, failure is regarded actually as a failure. And no, this is the other way around. It's actually a proof that you have tried something, that you were bold enough simply to do it. So please use failure as something really positive. Let's jump to the second pillar, and this is exponential technologies. Why do we do this? Is you may also have heard those technologies, they're something bad, you know, they influence our lives everywhere. We want to turn this around. We want to say exponential, know the exponential technologies and use them to create something better. So exponential technologies, I'm now going to use a couple of buzzwords. It's virtual reality, augmented reality, blockchain, machine learning, artificial intelligence, human machine interaction. At least know what this is all about and learn about it. And then jump to the third pillar. Use all the knowledge and create something valuable for society. So what do we do? So if my pitch were over and was over now, probably this would be the question. So Simon, what do you do? We do a couple of things. So first of all, we have boot camps. 30 to 40 pirates come together with experts and mentors, and it's very similar to the challenge we have, just actually taking place somewhere, not online, but somewhere in the physical world. And in those 3 days, together, we go through a process where, again, you come up with an idea, you create a team, and you develop it. And on the last night, there is a final pitch night, and you present it. Then we have the online mentoring. We believe that everyone deserves a mentor. So we are matching mentors and pirates. Right now, we are launching an online group mentoring program where pirates in groups of four or five people work together with a mentor for a couple of weeks, again with a focus on moonshot thinking, exponential technologies, plus understanding and tackling global grand challenges. Furthermore, we have a festival that now we had to postpone for a year. It's an innovation creative festival that is taking place once a year. We also have series of talks where we invite experts and ask them to share information with you. The core of all of this is actually our community. We are building a community here. You are all part of this community. We are also, in the background, there is a digital platform that connects it all. It helps you to connect with the mentor, the expert, with another mentor, the pirates, with other pirates, share information, set up meetings. It even serves as an event management app for all the boot camps. So this is the core of our community. And you know, you have learned a lot about giving a pitch now, and I'm also sure that people listening out there know a little bit how it works. So also I'm actually giving a pitch to you right now. So this is one of the most important slides. As I already told you, we are headquartered in Vienna in Austria. We're now around 20 people working on building this community. We are the night shift. You can see them still in the background. And but we are starting with our programs in many cities across the world in the next couple of months. Amongst them, there is San Francisco, New York, London. We are in Sao Paulo. We are launching a project in India. We have a bootcamp planned in Singapore, in Tokyo. There is one in Ljubljana. This is the capital of Slovenia in Europe, and so on. So what I'm trying to say is we are very proud of it, and we're happy that you are part of the community. There's one more slide I would like to share with you. To put some numbers on the table, so 150 mentors are working with us. We have collaborated with more than 3,000 students, 25 global organizers. Those are the people who bring the boot camp to their cities. There's an amazing board of advisors. There are ambassadors who are helping us to support the idea. And there's also, and this is a call to all of you, right now we are building a board of young advisors, because we believe that you should be all part of our decision processes. So the board of young advisors will together with us build the Moonshot Pirates community. So if you are interested, please also send us a message. And one more thing, how can you become a pirate? So let me repeat a couple of things. One is, you say, I would like to become a mentor, then please contact us. You can either join the online group mentoring, or you join us at one of the boot camps. Another possibility is you bring the Moonshot Pirates to your city and become a global organizer, or an ambassador, or you give a talk on a topic that you're really passionate about. So let me stop here and jump to the last. It's actually a quote that we love to close our presentations with. And this is that quote by Steve Jobs. And he said, it's better to be a pirate than join the Navy.
That's a great quote to end on, Simon. Thank you very much for your for the presentation. But You know, it's really interesting because the Moonshot Pirates, it's a relatively new idea, but it's a super important idea. And whenever you're working on something new and big and important, you get all kinds of little surprises that pop up. And I want to ask you on a personal level, what's been the most surprising thing that you've seen working with all the pirates?
First of all, it's so much fun building this. We are a great team. We actually have fun all day long, but we also work a lot. I have to admit it, maybe sometimes also a little bit too much. And probably the biggest surprise was right in the beginning when we started, because we all said, yes, this is important and it is a good idea. And we also all quit our jobs and started solely working on the Moonshot Pirates. And you have to imagine in the first couple of months, you get feedback, you also get a lot of positive feedback, but at one point it needs to become also a sustainable business. And this was really difficult in the beginning. And when we actually got the first funding 4 or 5 months into the project, this was a game changer, because it is very unusual to get it so quickly in the beginning. And it really also showed us that we are working on something that other people also believe in. And from then on, it has developed very quickly in all directions. And I really hope that it's simply developing with the same pace on and on.
Mm. And what I really liked was when you talked about failure and the willingness to make mistakes, because when you fail, it really means that you've learned something. And this is something that that I definitely use all the time in my daily life. In fact, even if you ask my parents, they will always say, oh, Adam was always a failure, but maybe they mean something different. But it's really interesting now that we have this award, because we're celebrating all of these wonderful ideas. But do you think that means that we're saying some ideas are better than others? Or is it just, because I think some of these ideas are just so fantastic. There's no way that the jury can give, you know, one grand prize to one idea when there's so many fantastic projects here. What do you think about that?
I think, and this is not only about the teams that are with us here today in this call, but all the 800, 900 participants of the challenge. I think each of them had such an amazing experience, but especially learning, simply by understanding what is possible if you together in a team work on an idea. So this is the most important, this is the most important learning that we should all take from this challenge. I also would like to tell you a story, because now I'm also a little bit nervous, because I know the jury is now deciding, and I have been in these situations many times. And I have been in this situation one particular time when I was in your age. I think I was around 18, and there was a similar, I don't even, so this is a huge conference, and there was an idea generation contest. It was actually recorded by TEDx, and people were simply asked to go on stage and pitch for 60 seconds. And I think I had a great idea prepared, but I went on stage and I couldn't say a word. I couldn't say a word. I was standing on stage, and the room was full of people, and it was horrible. So I left the stage. People were supportive, they clapped, and you can imagine I didn't feel great. And then I changed, I turned it around. I figured out that the next day there is a speaking contest. And I signed up, and I said, I'm going on that stage, and I'm going to win this. And I actually came up with an entertaining speech about countries, and I actually won 3rd place, which again, there was a failure where I experienced the worst, and I knew I already know how it what it feels like, and then I went on stage and repeated it and was successful. So this was also, I think, it supports the idea of having a failure culture and simply getting up and trying it again.
Oh, that's great. And I have to ask you, what do you think Moonshot Pirates will be in the next 20 years? Because right now we're working with such amazing, talented young people. What do you think it's going to be like when they're older and grayer and they've been through this? Because I know some of you guys, you're 15 years old and you're dealing with such complicated situations. I know when I was 15 years old, I could barely decide what clothes I should wear to the party on Friday night. And you guys are working with such complicated things. What would be the next 20 years for Moonshot Pirates?
I am also very impressed. I probably, when I was in your age, also wasn't that focused and probably not capable of developing that ideas. But this is probably the core of why we are doing this, because we want to create a framework for everyone to strive. And this is actually happening. And in the next couple of years, and you ask what's in 2 decades, I think that we all together will be building this community, and that you will become older and that you will stay a pirate, that you will maybe organize a boot camp in your city, that you will give a talk on the Moonshot Pirates platform, that will come together in different meetings in different continents. And honestly, to be a little bit bold, we should all together revolutionize the education system.
I hope so. And what I really love about that is you're saying that you hope that all of these wonderful people become pirates forever. So once you sign up on the high seas, there's no turning back. So I quite like that idea. And speaking of no turning back, I think we might be past the point of no return, because I'm getting the message that the jury have made their decision. So this is where things get exciting. But I have to tell you, this wouldn't be the Moonshot Pirates without some secret treasure and some secret surprises along the way. And it wouldn't be Moonshot unless we were going really far into the moon. And I know that one of the judges, Tia, has got a little surprise for
Don't give too much of it away. I've been so good so far.
Well,
hi,
Tia, I'm glad that you had, it sounds like you had fun with the jury and everything like that. But why don't you tell us what you've got planned?
So behind the scenes, I'm really, really excited to share a surprise that has taken me a lot not to share. It's incredibly exciting. So Moonshot Pirates, what if millions like you were living and working in space? How would you live and how would you work? What if you were part of building a society that is interstellar? Imagine what it would feel like to receive your first parcel from space, your first space mail. We're offering a unique chance for you to send mail to space, and not any old way, but by the Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket. Google it, check it out. It's named after Mercury astronaut Alan Shepard. He's the first American to go to space. So at Replenish Earth, this is our gift to you. And we're making it possible with Blue Origin's nonprofit Club for the Future to give all of you Moonshot Pirates, your best mates and your family, a lifetime opportunity to receive your first physical object from space. And you can find out more with all the details. You'll need to register by the 3rd of July. There's a link on my Instagram. It will also go out in the newsletter, I believe, tomorrow.
So this is a real treat, and it's taking the Moonshot Pirates literally out into space on an interstellar adventure. And I think this is fantastic, and it's really fitting because some of these ideas are just out of this world. So thank you so much, Tia, for arranging that. It's really exciting and a really wonderful opportunity. And we'd like to thank all of the partners who helped make this opportunity. We'd especially like to thank, we've got to do this before we get to the grand prize, we've got to thank the Ministry of Education in Austria for empowering young people to take action, especially through their entrepreneurship educations. We've got to thank the Silicon Valley Inspiration Tours, and especially to Nicky Ernst, who is a pirate in every sense of the word. He's passionate about this program, and he is providing the winning pirates with their tour of Silicon Valley. There's also WKO, the Austrian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you to you for supporting young entrepreneurs. And the Talent Garden, which are the international innovative community and secret hideout of the Moonshot Pirates. Also, if you've ever been to Vienna, you've probably seen Infinity Media. Their screens are absolutely everywhere, and they've been supporting this project with media screens all across the city. And of course, Bureau F, our design pirates. They make sure that everything looks perfect, all the graphics are on point, and you can appreciate them even if you're wearing an eye patch. There's also Zwolf, who've been supporting the pirates in terms of platform and app development, and the pirates have been using their apps for the past few weeks, and our two media partners, Metropole and Kleine Zeitung. We also have to say that every good pirate needs a treasure chest full of gold doubloons. But since we're digital pirates, gold doubloons just won't cut it anymore. So what we need is MegaCard by UniCredit Bank Austria. Do you like that joke? I thought of that myself. And Marion, it's so much safer to keep your money with UniCredit Bank than it is to bury it in the bottom of the ocean. And Marion, I'd love to have a quick chat with you because you've been giving such amazing support from MegaCard. What is it that makes you want to support something like Moonshot Pirates and the Be a Pirate Challenge?
It's very, very simple to the point, because it's important. It's important to support young people to create a solution for our challenges we are all together in. So I deeply believe in that, and also my organization, my bank, UniCredit Group, deeply believes in that, and therefore, by the way, education is also one of our main pillars in our social banking initiative. So this is really something we are deeply convinced that we have to accelerate further globally.
And it's fantastic that you do that. I think it's so important. So thank you. And you've watched all of the projects, seen all the pitches. What are your impressions of these young people? What do you think about their ideas in general?
Honestly, to some extent, I couldn't believe. I had really troubles in believing that within a couple of weeks, something like that is possible. This was really, for me, and I honestly also thought, I asked the team, are we sure that this was created only during the last weeks? And so I'm deeply impressed, and I say many thanks to all of you that have participated. And every idea is great, everyone, and you really impressed me a lot.
And one final question. Back when you were the age of our pirates, when you were in that sort of 15, 16, 17 age range, what were you doing? Were you thinking about the future? Were you worried about these big ideas? Or was there even any support if you wanted to do something like this?
You mean in the age of no handies and mobile phones? Honestly, it was not that much of developing game-changing ideas. What I was deeply in was about raising awareness, challenging the system. So this was what drove me most. For example, I founded the first Greenpeace location in my hometown. I searched for funding for NGOs in my school. I also, when it comes to challenging the system, I managed to be the first female ministrant in our hometown, in my hometown.
Wow.
So to challenge the system, this was really something, and to raise the awareness, because environmental challenges we already also had in the past. And unfortunately, this prolongs to keep going on. And I think we have to take care, because this is very pathetic, and a lot of people are saying, but it's true, we only have one planet, and for sure nature will survive, we not, if we keep going like this.
Well, thank you so much for your support, and you truly have the spirit of a moonshot pirate, that's for sure. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Adam.
Now, let me see. The life of a pirate, I'll be honest, it's a dangerous one. There's plenty of treasure to be found, and we've had over 800 applicants, 60 teams making it through, 7 teams in the final, but there can only be one winner. Everyone at the Moonshot Pirates team wants to personally congratulate each and every one of you for taking part in this challenge. Whether you're one of the finalists or whether you're watching on the live stream at home, you have the heart of a pirate. You've got the courage to face new challenges, the energy to cross uncharted waters, and the skills to explore the world for yourselves. Now, hundreds of years ago, the bravest pirates would look up to the stars and follow those stars to navigate their course on their next big adventure. Never really sure exactly where they would end up. Those pirates faced death, disease, and disaster along the way, searching for treasure and their chance to become a legend. Today, you Moonshot Pirates are the new stars, shooting for the moon, taking on impossible challenges to make the world a better place. You too have faced uncertainty, and some of you have faced disaster, but your treasures are even greater. The prize you seek is not gold and silver, but the chance to build a better tomorrow. So I'd like to invite 3 of our swashbuckling jury members to present the prizes as we celebrate all of your fantastic achievements. And no matter what the results, we want to encourage each and every one of you to follow your own path and bring your projects into reality with the heart of a pirate. To present the 3rd place prize in the Be a Pirate Challenge, please welcome Jody. Jody, nice to have you back. And you're going to be presenting the 3rd place prize. And the 3rd place prize is a Moonshot Pirates surprise package. It's also having your projects visible for a month on digital screens around Vienna, and a wildcard entry to boot camp, which are 3 days Moonshot Pirates boot camp in October in Vienna or in London or Slovenia, and the Moonshot Pirates will take care of everything. So Jody, could you perhaps share a couple of words, a couple of lines about this team, and then announce the 3rd place prize winner for us?
You bet. I was thrilled to hear all of your amazing ideas. I can't wait to see what each and every one of you builds in the future. Our 3rd place winner, we felt like the ideas were really sound. It used a very simple aha to create massive impact. And we love the way that you are tackling the problem at that really basic level to make big impact. So our 3rd place winners are the Great Pirate Drone and the Problematic Problem Solvers. Congratulations.
Well done to you. I can see their faces lighting up on the screen. Congratulations to that team. Well done, and a prize well deserved. We're now going to move to Petra, who is going to present the 2nd place prize. And the 2nd place prize is the Moonshot Pirates surprise package. It's also your project visible on the digital screens around Vienna, and 2 months of free membership in one of the talent gardens somewhere in Europe. That gives you free working space, free office space in one of 23 different locations around Europe. And I can tell you that if you sneak into the one in Vienna, the other Moonshot Pirate team are there as well. So you can sit next to them and get even more help and support. A wonderful prize. Petra, would you like to say a few lines about the project that you've chosen and announce the team in second place?
Thank you, Adam. I love to do so. First, let me say that it was a real fight. Yeah, this is why the jury took longer than it should, because I mean, all these projects are so brilliant, and we had really different thoughts. And as I said, it was not easy to come to a conclusion, but now it is there. And the second prize goes to a project that showed us the idea of democratization of the concept of corporate sustainability, which is so much zeitgeist. The jury also found that there is a scaling approach feasible. Start small and then really scale. And the third part was that this solution really puts a smile in the face of the user to a very high extent. And I think you already know what that project is. It is the Project Paradise.
Well done to Team Project Paradise. Congratulations, and very well deserved. Wonderful. But now the tension is rising. Looking at the screens, I can see some nail biting going on. And for the final grand prize winner of the Be a Pirate Challenge 2020, which includes not only the Moonshot Pirates surprise package, but also that all-important trip to Silicon Valley. Marion, please, would you put us out of our misery? Will you tell us a few things about the winning project and announce the overall winner of the Be a Pirate Challenge?
It's a great pleasure. Well, the team convinced us in 2 dimensions. The first one is the high impact we do see. And the second one, the given feasibility. So we really believe that this can be realized pretty soon and with the allocated high impact, and also the approach of the enablement of the people we loved a lot. And therefore, to make a long story short, the prize goes to Team TerraShift with ReefPro.
Wow, congratulations, Team TerraShift. Congratulations, Laura and Sophie and Diora and Charlotte. Well done. Please unmute your microphones for a minute.
Wow.
Congratulations, you're going to Silicon Valley. How do you feel?
I'm trembling.
You're trembling, you're nervous. I can see lots of red faces, lots of excitement. You better start packing your bags.
Are laughing and cheering right beside me. Yeah. Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
I just love the chaos on the screen. This is wonderful. There's tears, there's happiness. Congratulations. I'd like to ask you, when you first started this project, did you ever think that you could possibly win?
No.
And what would you say to everybody that's watching on the live stream who's thinking, oh, maybe I should enter next year? What would you say to them if they're a little bit nervous, if they think that they can't do it? What would you say?
I mean, it's definitely worth a shot, because either, you know, if you don't do it, then you learn from your mistakes. And if you do it, you get a great satisfaction from it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much and well done. A big round of applause. Thank you to TerraShift and all of the teams. You've done fantastically well. Thank you so much. And what I think we'd like to do right now is it's time to say goodbye. It's time to sail off into the sunset. So those of you who've won, congratulations. You can sail off into the distance. And for those of you who didn't, remember, you've got to learn from your mistakes, and maybe you can find some consolation at the end of a bottle of rum or something like that. Have a good drink on the Moonshot Pirates, that's for sure, because there's plenty more hidden treasure to find next time. And remember, the most famous pirate of all, Captain Jack Sparrow, said, "There is more to treasure than silver and gold." So thank you so much for joining